Robbo, commiserations. Just give us your assessment first, please, on that game.
I thought the game were pedestrian. I thought as a spectacle it was so slow. If you watch an NRL game over the last couple of days and then watch that game, you think you play a different sport. I thought we've got a lot of young lads in. They're a little bit more experienced than us, and they just seem to slow the ruck down a little bit. They're a little bit more savvy than us. You know, whenever we got an half, we didn't get any quick play the balls inside their 10 at all. They were slowing the ruck, and then as soon as we did, somebody would be laid in the ruck and Ashko would have to pick the ball up over them and pass the ball. But you don't get the rub of the green really when things are going against you. Luckily, captain challenge is now a thing, because we've had a couple of decisions that had also gone against us. No, not a fashionable club. You know, Gagai thinks that he should have challenged us as well when he were, you know, running over and sort of went to tackle and it hit his arm, went into touch. He thinks that we should have challenged that as well. So, yeah, I just think I think we tried really hard. The boys that are out there at the moment, you know, it's been well documented, the amount of players that we've got out, the amount of experience we've got out. It's very difficult for me going there and actually rollick them because they're trying. We're just lacking experience. I played with 3 fullbacks today, actually 4 if you consider Ash Golden started there. But Aidan McGowan, Gagai, and George Flanagan, they're all fullbacks. It probably just shows where we're at this moment in time. Probably what sums it up even more so is Fenton Rodgers, after 5 minutes, looks like he's done his syndesmosis, which looks like that could be months. If that's correct. If the diagnosis is correct, which I'm hoping we've got it wrong. You know, even the physios come to me at the moment like, look, I'm hoping I'm wrong, Robbo, I'm really sorry. Every day someone comes to me. And probably another one that sums it up is Bill Leyland, we signed on loan. He lasted 20 minutes, got knocked out and failed. So he's not going to play next week against Leeds because it's a short turnaround. The same happened with Niall Evalds. I got Niall Evalds from Hull KR. He played 35 minutes before breaking his foot. We are where we are. I don't want to be a whinge and I don't want to be a moan. It happens to everybody, but it's becoming, well, it's an epidemic at this moment in time. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we are doing an in-depth assessment of where we are as a club, what we can change, what we can do to stop these injuries. Some of them are just freaks. You know, said before that Tui's now out for months. Clooney's now out for months. Wolford's, I thought, would be a really exciting signing for not only us but Super League. He's, you know, been out for long durations. But yeah, that game probably typifies it when Fenton does that. Leyland, who's been out who's come on loan for a little while to bolster the numbers, give us a little bit of squad depth in the last 20 minutes. So yeah, that's probably my summary of it. I think they were a little bit more, they had a lot more experience than us. I thought we were a little bit naive in the way we went about, and once again I thought we had 12 men to the start of the second half. They scored 2 tries in that first 5 minutes. We didn't start the second half well again. We didn't start well.
Those periods, that 10 minutes sort of either side of half time seemed pretty pivotal. I think they scored 20 points in that period, albeit as you say there you've been down to 12 men. Is that almost a persisting problem, do you feel? Just finishing the first half and then coming out quick in the second? Yeah,
look, well, do you know what? Not even finishing first half, if you look at the majority of his games this year, we haven't always been really good in the end of the first half, but generally we've been doing all right. But today we obviously, Sam Hewitt tried to get over there, tried to salvage, you know, and get in the way of that, you know, last-ditch effort, should I say, and we ended up going down to 12 men. It was pivotal because they missed the kick from the sideline, then they obviously got the penalty, not a penalty try, but they got the extra 2 points in front of the sticks, which I thought were a big call. But then we went down to 12 men, and then we had 12 men for the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, and that's when we conceded 2 early tries. We've got to handle that period better. We've got to handle it better. We've got to make sure as individuals we handle it better, and as a team we handle it better. But that probably just sums up where we're at the moment.
What did you make to that sin bin? Did it warrant a yellow card for you?
Well, look, I said before that we're not a fashionable club at the best of times, are we? But the way that it's going at the moment, it probably they never go. When you're on a losing streak and things are, you don't seem to get the bounce of the ball. The kick in the second half, it bounced straight back into one of them's hands. We've just got to do better. We've got to put more numbers in the frame. I'm not into excuses. I'm into facts, and I just thought we could have handled that period a lot better.
Just on the injury from, I know you didn't mention Adam Swift in the week. Was that a late one? Was it a calf as well?
Another calf. And to be fair, his loading's not been. He hadn't done a lot on Swifties. He were poorly the week before, so he didn't train much. We integrated him back in, made sure he didn't do too much training. We had a really light session on his first session back, and then just the back end of it felt like it had tightened up. And then obviously he's gonna miss him for another couple of weeks, it looks like. So he's another one that just got added to the list.
When you're approaching games, Rob, you're almost in two minds now. On the performance and focusing on that, but also just praying to God that you're not going to lose anyone else. I'm
praying to God every session. It's very difficult this moment in time. I want to train the lads hard. The only way out is through hard work, great determination and hard work. We're not going to score 50 points in the next however many weeks and that's going to be the turning point. I've been in situations as a player. I've been as assistant coach in these situations before. You grind your way out. You outwork the opposition. You get all the effort areas right, and you jag a win. But it's very, very difficult this moment in time to train hard because I'm limping in. I'm limping in, but we've got that many injuries that you're just very sceptical about training too hard, because you don't want to lose anybody else. Because at the moment in time, I put Jacob Algar, one of his academy lads, in the 21 this week. He's a really good kid. I've got high expectations of him. But we're having to throw, Max Merter in the 21 again. It a time cost. If somebody went down, one of the forwards that have been playing this week. When you couple that with, we've already got a lot of inexperienced, a lot of young lads that, in time. You want to throw young lads in. I'm all for young British lads. I'm a big believer in that. But you can't throw them all in at once. You normally like to blood them, but it's very difficult when things aren't going your way. So we've got to be smart with that as well.
Connor Carr got a debut. What did you make of him?
Thought he did all right. I think I love the story about Connor Carr, and a lot of clubs, especially after COVID, money wise, didn't want to keep reserves, not sure what they were doing with the academy, missed a lot of rugby, not only Connor but people of his age, and probably Andy Kelly's a little bit of vision. He saw something in Connor, kept him on his payroll, even though he wasn't full time. He actually went and he got a really good job, did an engineering apprenticeship, did Connor. So I'm really chuffed for him. He showed a lot of great determination to stay in the game. He could have actually gone, they're giving me a part-time wage, it's probably not worth it. But he didn't. He went, got himself a really good trade, kept on training as much as he could with us, stayed in the system. He went on loan a couple of times, I think, to Oldham and Hunslet and teams like that. And he's built his way up and stayed consistent and trained really hard. And I'm just really chuffed that he just shows that hard work and dedication. Yeah, he can pay dividends if you have those traits.
Just going into next week on the sort of personnel front, I know we seem to ask you it most weeks, but is there any prospect again of bringing players in again on maybe a 2-week loan like Bill was?
Yeah, we are always looking. At the moment in time, there's a lot of teams that are they've got little niggles and knocks. They're not willing to give away the players that we probably need in them positions. We are always looking. We are always on the lookout. Whenever we do seem to bring one in, they just seem to get injured straight away. But we're always looking. Thankfully, we'll get Wilson back next week, so he'll be a welcome addition. We potentially have Jack Murchie back, so a little bit of experience to his back row, much needed experience. So yeah, fingers crossed those two get through training.
Cheers, Robert.
Thank you.
When you sign a loan player, when the deal's completed, does he put the fear of God into you at the minute? The way things are going?
A little bit, yeah. I'm just like, as soon as we sign someone, it just feels like, well, do you know what? It's a welcome boost. It's a fresh face. It's a bit, just somebody new to the group that can freshen it up, and I'm really buoyant about that. And then it gets into the game, and I'm like, fingers crossed, toes crossed that they can get through the game, and we get to see what they're about and what they can add to the team. But fortunately for me, I bring them in, they don't last 1 half, unfortunately.
Just on Friday's game, obviously at Leeds, Jake Connor, you're a Siddle lad, he's a Siddle lad as well. It's like the Battle of Siddle, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not a thoroughbred. He's not a genuine Siddle lad. He came later on.
Oh right.
Yeah. He's a Siddle boy now. He's the coach now. He came a bit later on, and I think he'd 1 season. Now he's the coach, so he's an adopted one. But he's he's an exceptional player. He's Jake. I've got a really good relationship with him. I've got 3 boys that play down at Siddle. I help coach 2 teams down there myself, so I'm always bumping into him, and he's a really talented player. He's Jake, and Leeds are a really decent side who unfortunately for us have got a really long turnaround to freshen up and get themselves ready to go against us, and we're obviously going to be. We just need to do our best this week to get players on the field and get them firing.
Which teams that you coach? 2 of the kids' teams, isn't it?
It is. It's the under 14s, and I help out now with the under 10s, and my middle one plays in the under 12s. So I'm pretty much I live there. If I'm not here, I'm there.
So go on then.
Although to be fair, my under 14s at the moment, I've just had two have broken something. One's got banned. One's done a shoulder injury, and I've literally just had 5. My wife's giggling, saying, "Don't look Robbo in the eye. If you look me in the eye, you get injured." So, yeah, my under 14s are pretty much. Yeah, I'm jinxing everybody at the moment, but I just want to say, look, it ain't all doom and gloom. A lot of young lads are getting an opportunity to play, and although it's not good at this moment in time, for the longevity of the club, for them and their individual career, it's great for them. It's not great for us at the moment. I'd love to couple that with some experience and give them some help, but they'll be better. They'll be better in the long run. When we start getting some bodies on board, we will be better as a club for it.
I mean, obviously the reasons are very different, but you could almost like draw with the young kids coming through. You could almost draw a comparison to what's going on at Salford, couldn't you? Because they're having to play young kids,
Yeah.
but the young kid, there's only one way to get experience at this level, isn't there?
It is, and do you know what? That's how I only got experience. They only played me because Adrian Lamb got injured. I won't play unless Adrian Lamb got injured. Sean O'Loughlin, Ken Brown, Martin Aspinall, Stephen Weil, we all came through at a similar time at Wigan. We only played because players got injured. That is generally the way it goes. You'd like it to be just 1 injury and 2 injuries, so they're around experience rather than being around inexperience as well. But I'm a big believer in British talent. I'm a big believer in bringing the youth through, and I'd like to bring 1 or 2 at once rather than 3, 4, and 5. But we'll be better for it.
Just following on from that, given the way things are at the minute, when players more experienced lads do start to come back, have you already earmarked like 1 or 2 of the young kids that you'll keep in and around the first team when the experienced lads come back?
I think the lads that have actually stepped up, for me, need to staying around the first team for good as much as they can. And we're at the moment. Andy Kelly's in the moment of signing what we deem to be a fair few academy lads that have shown a lot of promise when they've come with us, not only at training but in the 21. There's a lot of promising signs from the youth, and in adversity sometimes you find out what they're made of and if they are good enough. And me in particular, I've been really impressed with their attitude and the way they've carried themselves in this sort of a time of need. So yeah, there's a lot of young lads that have actually probably helped really, We've got to look at them and actually had a view of them in training and gone, actually, yeah, we think they've got what it takes to be a first team Super League player.